my fellow human beings and my countrymen. Thank you to Brand Talk, which initiated the program Master Speak. Through this, we are trying to figure out how the leaders of the society, how the leaders of the community are thinking, are spending their time at home, and ensuring that when this lockdown, when this pandemic gets over, how the world can be a better place. Me and my family, we are having a really good time. We are spending a lot of quality time together, playing indoors, doing a lot of activities together, ensuring that there is camaraderie, there is affection, there is love, there is empathy, which is built by all of us spending time together. Work is going brilliant during these tough times. Our philosophy has always been to figure out businesses which are resilient to market cycles, which are resilient to any downward movement. Although we are not larger than the market, but we try and ensure to pick up businesses in our asset management business which are good, which are clean, which are consistent, where cycles do not play a major role, and hence we have been largely resilient. Now, in terms of working from home, this has been a great opportunity to spend time with my peers, with my colleagues, with the top management of asset management team, because we are building new relationships. We are ensuring that we are spending quality time. We are talking freely with no inhibition. We know that we are in it together and we will come out of it strongly. A reset button has been set for all corporates, the way they do business, the way they think about business, the way they think about clients, the way they think about people, the way they think about humanity. And I'm sure this extreme situation will bring the best in all of us. It's very, very ironical. As soon as good time comes, you become lazy, you become complacent, you take things for granted. But when tough time comes, the best in you comes out, and that's exactly what's happening in my work life. Markets are volatile. Markets have always been volatile. This time it's pandemic. Some time back it was global meltdown. Sometimes it was currency depreciation. Sometimes it was trade wars. Markets have always been volatile. The reasons have changed, but the outcome has been similar. So what should one do? We have been propagating this. I have been propagating this from beginning. You have to own businesses which are resilient, which do not get impacted with this market volatility, or even if they get impacted, their earnings are largely resilient. Their earnings and future earnings are ultimately not impacted by any pandemic or by any volatility in external environment. What are these businesses? Very, very simple. These are essentially B2C businesses which have dominant market share, and businesses which are not leveraged at all. Businesses which have free cash flows. Businesses which ensure that lowest consumption items are being manufactured by them and at a high margin with very, very high quality. They'll always be in demand, whether it's an economic downturn or a health pandemic like we are facing today. You will always require those essential items. Keep focusing on these kind of businesses. You have to focus on the businesses which have gone through cycles and which have survived 20, 30, 40 years and still have become and continue to remain as market leaders. And if you invest in those businesses, you don't have to worry because they will fall less as compared to the market. And when the market will return back to its normalcy, they will rise much faster than the markets. Ensure that your businesses are clean. Ensure that businesses are consistent. Ensure that they have no political linkages. Ensure that they have no accounting malpractices. Ensure that they have free cash flows. Ensure that they have no leverage on their balance sheet. Just own them, nurture them, and they will create humongous amount of wealth for you. If history is any indicator of when normalcy comes back after a pandemic like this, it can be anything from 12 months to 18 months. Whether it is medical and economic may take even longer, the recovery may take perhaps 24 to 36 months for the normalcy in economic terms to come back. But the good news is that most central banks have become cognizant of the nature and the extent of the destruction which this pandemic is causing. Hence, they are acting fast, they are acting decisively. Just think about it. In 2008, when the financial meltdown happened, the size of US economy was closer to $14.5 trillion, and in a span of 3 years, they pumped $2.8 trillion. In 2008 and early 9, they pumped closer to $1 trillion in fiscal stimulus. For now, the pandemic has just begun and US has pumped directly or indirectly $6.6 trillion when their economy is closer to $21 trillion in size. The expectation is that this may reach to a $10 trillion. So almost half of the size of the economy is going to be given in the form of stimulus. Japan has given almost 20% of their economic size as the stimulus, $1 trillion, when their economy is $5.6 trillion. India has already pumped $220 billion economic package. Yesterday, RBI gave a lot of room for liquidity, ensured that businesses do not starve for liquidity. So my sense is that everybody is doing whatever is permissible within their limits to ensure that normalcy comes back to track. But medically, it will take at least 12 to 18 months to build herd immunity. And herd immunity can only be built by 3 methodologies. One, you have a pure cure. You have some cure by which this pandemic can be cured, or this illness or this disease can be cured. The second is there is mass infection. Large number of people build immunity because they have got infected by this virus. The third is vaccination, mass vaccination, and we are nowhere close to any of the three. It will take at least 9 months to 12 months before we see herd immunity even emerging. The bigger challenge in my mind is the second leg. There's generally a wave which hits the pandemic again, the second wave of the pandemic, and hence it's important that we need to be safe and we need to be sound, because if the second wave of this pandemic hits, it will be even more deadlier than the first one. 3 very basic checks which you should do before you pick up any business for investment. First, it can't be leveraged. It just can't be leveraged. Second, it needs to be a B2C company, a company which manufactures or which produces goods or services which is used by the end retail customer, and the ticket or the price value of that product or the service has to be least. Remember, in today's time, nobody is going to go for the discretionary demand. People will only buy essentials, people will only buy necessities, and hence pick up businesses which are focused towards it. The third and the most important thing, buy large cap companies which have dominant market share in their space. Businesses which have gone through cycles and still have maintained the leadership position, the pole position in their market. They have been expanding the market and they have been expanding the market share. Just pick up these businesses and you will be pretty. You will make a lot of money. You can convert this catastrophe into an opportunity. Stay safe, stay healthy. God bless humanity. God bless everyone. Thank you. Pranipad.